What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I am Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review of NXT and 205 Live. NXT was just a night of promo packages highlighting all the matches that happened in TakeOver War Games 2, the aftermath of that monstrous event. I did do my review of TakeOver War Games 2, which you can check out on my channel right now. We did have a few matches. The first match we did have was Keith Lee taking on Fidel Bravo, who looks like a bootleg version of Cheech and Chong. This was a decent match. It was a squash. They're still kind of building up Keith Lee, which I think they should still give him bigger opponents. We'll get to that in just a sec. Lee did dispose of Bravo fairly quickly with the Supernova and won the match, continuing to let Los Angeles bask in his glory. So during Survivor Series and even I guess on Raw and SmackDown, they ran promo packages for Lars Sullivan. He's going to be called up to the main roster very soon. So this surprised me that they gave him a match here. However, this was a pretty quick match. Lars Sullivan did make quick work of this local talent and hit him with a freak accident in less than 30 seconds. Then got on the mic and said that until he gets an NXT championship title shot, this is what's going to happen. And he was about to hit another freak accident onto the jobber, but out came the aforementioned Keith Lee. Then he came back out and he kind of threw out Lars Sullivan from the ring. And later on, backstage, we saw the two arguing. And finally, William Regal did make the match. Next week, it is going to be Keith Lee versus Lars Sullivan. This should be a good match, because this is a match I think I've really wanted to see ever since Lee came into NXT. So this would make a lot of sense. So this was cool, but I'm excited for this. So they did show the promo package for Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano earlier on, but it ties into a little bit to the main event of NXT. We did have afterwards Aleister Black walk into the back. Him and Candice LeRae have a very awkward stare down, and then she goes off. She's going to be in the main event of this week's NXT, which is, of course, Nikki Cross versus Candice wrestling in a pretty good match. I really did enjoy this one. I think this was the best match on the show. Good back and forth, very emotional. Nikki Cross still continuing to laugh at Candice's face. Candice continuing to get visibly angry. This kind of does not paint her as very intelligent. She should know by now that Nikki Cross plays a lot of mind games, and she shouldn't be falling for them, or at least trying her best not to fall for them, but hey, whatever. But she does kick out of a purge, which was interesting. She even hit the Gargano escape onto Cross, which she of course kicked out of. The match ended with Nikki Cross hitting a draped over neck breaker onto Candice LeRae to win the match. So I'm wondering if that's going to be her new finisher. So because that would be cool, I'd be okay with that. But anyway, decent match, but this is how NXT ended. 205 Live began with the Cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy coming out to address the NXT crowd, saying that, he won and he beat Mustafa Ali at Survivor Series in a very good match, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. This was good, and then this brought out Tony Nese, and him and Noam Dar, who's been pulling double duty on 205 Live as well as NXT UK, which I have been not really keeping up with. I want to watch more NXT UK, but the problem is it airs when I'm at work, so I really can't. I might check it out on the weekend or something. We'll see. I may not review it, but I'll still check it out. Great match here. Tony Nese and Noam Dar, good chemistry in the ring. By the way, I love Tony Nese's entrance gear, like his little sweater that he wears. It looks really warm. This was good. They had a good back and forth. The match ended when Noam Dar was going to go for his finisher, which I forget what it's called. I'll leave it here once I figure it out. And he is distracted by Buddy Murphy, who he then kicks in the back. This distraction allows Tony Nese to pick up the victory with the running Nese. And this was good. And then they, of course, make a statement by pushing Noam Dar out of the ring. So this was good stuff. I'm really excited to see where this is going. But yeah, good match. I'm really starting to like Tony Nese a lot. And yeah. Up next, we do have the Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa coming in a tag team match with some local competitors. And one of those competitors is Fidel Bravo. This guy's really earning his paycheck. This was a good match too. Really the whole story here is, can Kendrick and Tozawa coexist after their blunder last week, but it looks like they did. The match ended with Kendrick hitting the sliced bread number 2. Still a weird name for a finisher, but anyway, he hit that, and then Tozawa hit a flying senton onto one of the guys. I don't know if it was Bravo or his partner, but then they do win the match. So it looks like they are kind of really finding their groove a little bit. Let's see where this storyline goes. Before we get into the main event, a couple of promos. We did have Mustafa Ali recording on his iPhone or whatever smartphone he has, and he was basically saying, I'll be back into the cruiserweight championship scene soon enough and whatnot. So that was good. His promos are always very impassioned and driven, and I like that. That's cool. And then we had another segment with General Manager Drake Maverick. I forgot he was our General Manager because on Monday Night Raw they spent so much time making fun of him for his little accident at Survivor Series. I swear to God, which era does Vince McMahon live in? Does he live in like the 1800s or something? Apparently. Not to say that that's what people in the 1800s thought was funny, but you get the point. Then Cedric Alexander came into the office, and then Maverick announced a giant main event for next week. It's going to be Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander taking on Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese. This should be an interesting match. I am smelling a Cedric Alexander heel turn along with a Tony Nese face turn. I'm going to keep saying it until it actually happens. Though I do think that the Alexander heel turn is going to happen first. And then, subsequently, we're going to turn Nese face. And now for our main event, TJP taking on Grand Metalik, who is returning after his wife delivered a baby. This was a good match. I really liked it. But in the beginning, we did have Lucha House Party. All of them come in. And then, of course, we had TJP coming out with Maria Kanellis and Mike Kanellis. Well, you know what? Hold on. Okay, you know what? I see the difference. It's the hair. They all come out. Mike Kanellis and TJP both have Lucha House Party masks, and they're, mocking the Lucha House Party. All 3 members come out. There's a big brawl that ensues. All the referees break them up. Maverick sends the Kanellises, Kalisto, and Lince Dorado to the back so that the competitors can have a match uninterrupted. And this was a really good match. What do you expect with TJP and Grand Metalik? 2 good performers. They have really good chemistry. They kind of really know each other by now. So this was good stuff. TJP, of course, tried to go for the mask again, but that didn't work. And then he, of course, tried to distract Metalik by picking up one of his piñatas. And it looked like he was going to use it as a weapon, but he didn't because Metalik snatched it from his hand and went and just took his time and placed it in the end of the ring. And I don't know how you found the time to do that, buddy. This had TJP try to take advantage, but Metalik turned it into hit a Hurricane Rana for the pin on TJP. And then Lucha House Party come out to celebrate, but then Maria Kanellis comes out and she's crying, and from the back out comes Mike Kanellis with a chair and beats up all 3 members of Lucha House Party, and the bad guys stand tall and the good guys are down and they need to regroup. And this is how 205 Live ended. So overall, I thought both shows were decent today. Both weren't like amazing as they usually are. I think because they were both kind of reeling in from Takeover, War Games, and Survivor Series respectively. That hype was still there and it hadn't died down. But I think next week we'll be back on track. So as far as matches that I liked, NXT, I did like the build to Lars Sullivan versus Keith Lee next week, but that's next week, so we're not going to talk about it now. But I did enjoy Candice LeRae versus Nikki Cross. Good match there. Brian Kendrick and Tozawa taking on those local competitors just because of furthering their storyline. That was good. But my match of the night for 205 Live is still Noam Dar versus Tony Nese. Tony Nese continues to impress me, so I really liked this. So those were my matches of the night. So that pretty much concludes my review of NXT and 205 Live this week. Let me know what you guys thought about both shows in the comment section below. Also, you might have noticed that I am recording this a little bit after Thanksgiving, so I would love to know, what did you do for Thanksgiving? Leave all that in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. This is Sid, signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.